you for joining me. We are going to be doing a reading today, and it is what do you need from relationships? What makes you happy in a relationship? So you've got 3 piles, 1, 2 or 3. Just take your choice and then we'll get going. Okay, let's go. Pile number 1. I need a bigger table. Okay, pile number 1, let's go. Mars in Taurus and Mercury in Scorpio. Okay. To me, this is you. This is you right at the beginning before we start reading a little bit more into it. To me, you seem to be a very strong person with a big personality. Not the type of person who is loud or who comes into a room and basically overtakes the conversation. You are somebody who is very strong-minded, very focused and extremely stubborn. You're coming across as somebody, once they've decided what they're doing, they're going to do it. Your speech is probably very direct. You probably really enjoy conversations that get right down to the nitty-gritty. You're not somebody who enjoys polite pleasantries. I would think that in a lot of situations in your life, you're quite stoic. I don't actually know what stoic means, but that's the word that came to my mind. I'm just thinking that you're somebody who is quite a force to be reckoned with. You are very good at deciding what you want and then actually doing it. You have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. You are very focused. You plan things out well and then you do them. You're very good at rolling with life's punches as well. You can deal with the bigger things in life. I do get the feeling that you are the type of person who would much rather or comes into their own when dealing with the big situations in life. When it comes to trivial little things like, niggly work worries or just small things or petty things, you're not interested. But you are definitely focused, strong and adaptable if need be. See, that's quite, I just said adaptable. Then the magician knows who he or she is. They know what they've got to offer people and they can adjust. But you're also coming up here as being very stubborn as well. So you probably are a combination of both. And I do get the general feeling you are a big personality. You like to discuss big subjects and you like to act big in the world. You're not petty. You're not small-minded. Right, let's have a little look and see what makes you happy. So if that's a little clue, maybe a few things rung true of how you act or who you are. Let's see what you give out now and how other people see you. So you might hide some of these qualities. You got the magician twice. Okay. I think that you come out to others as being very good, almost a bit maverick, very good at starting things off and having extremely good ideas. You may, if you work in business, you may go in and shake things up in a very positive way. Even smaller situations, everyday life situations, you're somebody who has an original approach. You're very good with your speech, but you're quite penetrating as well. I don't think you really like to talk a load of crap and you don't like other people to talk rubbish back to you. I do think you're very focused in your work. And I do think you are very Queen of Swords. I do think that you cut to the quick. I think you're quite direct. I think your speech is direct and you definitely appreciate that from other people. You don't like flouncy language that doesn't really get to the point. I do think that you probably, if you are called into a position in work, or people will choose you because you have a different approach and you're very original in the way that you attack things. still getting... To be honest though, to begin with, I'm coming across as you're quite scary to me because you are powerful. If I was with this person in work, I wouldn't muck with you. I would think that you can see behind other people, you can see their motives, and you will call them out. And you're a big person, you know what life goes in cycles, you know what's coming, you know what's going, and you deal with it at the moment, and you enjoy dealing with it. It's almost like you like the challenge, then you let it move on, and then you carry on, you brush it all aside and start again. I think you're very good in business, or in your career, because I do think that you're very logical, very, very straight with your thoughts, straight with your speech. And you're definitely got this vibe, because you've got Magician twice, of having a lot of skills and you know how to make them work in everyday life. So you are definitely someone to be reckoned with. Okay, so what you want in relationships is slightly different from the way that you actually sometimes feel. I think that you quite like somebody who, you quite like probably to nurture somebody, because you've come across as quite a strong pile. I don't mean nurture as mummy them or daddy them, but basically you can, if you see something in somebody else that you have already and you're quite accomplished in it, because you do give the impression that you are quite confident, that I think you quite like to develop that in somebody. So if you see parts of yourself in somebody else, you're the type of person that can sort of nurture them in a way and make their personality or their drives grow. But I do think that you almost like a challenge. You don't want somebody who's wet. You don't want somebody who you do feel like you need to mother, but you like somebody who you can see a spark in, you can pull it out of them. You like the truth, you like honesty, and you actually like somebody who is warm. You like somebody who is as clear as you, but somebody who's very giving, very open, very spontaneous and playful. To me, this makes me feel that I'm saying this really early on, so I don't know yet, there's still a lot to come out, but I'm going to say it anyway. Your ideal partner would be somebody in like a work relationship that actually made work fun. Somebody who worked hard but joked around, played around, had fun, was very, very playful, enjoyed a laugh, but was also quite focused and wasn't afraid of an argument. You don't want somebody in your life, this is what I'm picking up from this pile, who you feel as if you had a bone of contention or you had an argument that they would run away crying. You like somebody who can stand up to you. Okay. You mentally, the way that you discuss things, the way that you talk to this person, the way that you would like, what would make you happy, the way that their mind would work would be very similar to yours, and the fact that they could deal with big, I'm going to say situations or projects. I don't mean that. What I'm trying to say is when everything falls to pieces in their life, that they're the type of person who is independent, free thinking, that can pick themselves up. That's what you would find attractive. Somebody who's not as scared of life, somebody who you feel that you could look up to as well in some way. Somebody who's wiser than you, who has worked on themselves. And I don't mean wiser than you, but we all want somebody we can admire, don't we? Somebody who has had situations in their life that they've learnt from. It wouldn't surprise me if you perhaps were attracted to somebody older than you, because you like somebody with maturity, somebody who's not going to end up crying in the corner when something goes wrong. You want somebody who has been through the same as you, and is as direct and honest and open and able to work on themselves as much as you are. You want somebody, an independent thinker. You would not be attracted to somebody who followed the crowd. because you're somebody with a magician there twice. You do what you want when you want. And you've got some sort of originality about you. Okay, you're quite a feisty pile here. You definitely. I'm not saying you ask for a lot, but you want somebody strong. Here you've got what emotionally what you would like is Knight of Cups. You want somebody who's warm and open and is going to be straight with you with their affections. You definitely are somebody. Every reading or every strip that's coming out is almost a feeling of directness about it. You want somebody who is open and loving and kind, as we all do. Well, not actually, not everybody does, but you want them to be straight with it. You want them to, if they like you, to come forward and say it. You don't want somebody who plays games. And you also, which sounds rather strange, that if the relationship isn't working, probably something that's very unattractive to you is somebody who sticks to you, who won't move on when the relationship has gone downhill. I have a feeling that you could be quite, I'm getting a sort of airy feeling from this past. I don't know whether you're air signs or earth signs. I'm not getting as much fire or as much water as usual, and just the energy that you pick up from certain piles. You do want somebody who's open and childlike and fun and loving, but you definitely want the truth from people. It comes out very strongly through every strip that I've put out so far. Hold on. Okay. Just something I've just picked up with these cards here. If you found somebody or you were with somebody and you thought they were slightly anxious in some way, or you felt that they were battling some inner demons, not large inner demons, but just something emotionally they found difficult to cope with, past, maybe a past sort of relationship or just our anxiety in some way, I don't think that would bother you. Because I just said I don't think I can pick up water from here, but if there is water, I would say it was Scorpio. The reason I'm saying that is you're not afraid of you don't have the fear of a relationship never being over. Sorry, it would excite you more if there was something in the relationship that you felt was slightly hidden or dark or that needed work on. There is a possibility emotionally that you could be drawn to somebody that you feel is slightly complicated. But you'd still want them to be direct. Okay, let me keep going. Just reading what I'm seeing. Let's see. I think that you physically would like somebody. I mean, I know we just said earlier that the person could be older than you because we got the Hermit card, and I just meant sort of mature. But I do wonder, you've got the Knight of Coins here, so this is physically what you're attracted to, what makes you happy. And you've got the Knight of Coins, so that possibly could suggest that somebody physically looks young. You'd want them. I get the feeling here that fitness is important to you, that not bodybuilding, and not like a sort of work too hard themselves, but you want that person's body to look as if they own it, rather than it's got a life of its own. You want somebody strong. I wonder whether you're attracted to martial arts type characters, that sort of person who works themselves, or even people that like group sports. Could be either, but just get the general feeling that, or surfing or swimming. I don't know why I'm having the feeling here that you are attracted to people who look as if they are physically fit. Somebody whose body, regardless of their age, looks younger than their years. But somebody who's quite compact and muscly. And I don't mean bodybuilder muscly, I just mean fit muscly. Somebody who's well toned, somebody who looks like they're in control of their body. The reason why I'm saying this, you've got the Knight, I'll show you so I don't look totally mad. You've got the Knight of Coins here. So this is somebody, the Knight is younger. The coins are like earth signs. So the earth signs always tend to have very sort of fit, muscly bodies. They tend to go that way. They burn up their food fast and they put on muscle really well. So the women tend to have very strong legs, you know, bigger thighs, and they look really good with proper bottoms. And the men just tend to be very sort of just compact and fit looking. You've also got here the Five of Wands, which to me is, oh no, it's not Five of Wands, it's Five of Swords. Oh, okay, sorry. Five of Swords, let me rethink. Five of Swords. Just stay with me one moment. I'm just going to rethink that because I just had gone on a train of thought, which is Wands. So, me, Five of Swords and Six of Swords. Okay. This puts a different flip on it. I'm going to go back to what I was saying and then change it to what I've just found out. Thank you for waiting. The Knight of Coins is somebody who is, as I've said, fit, young and well muscled. But your sword signs here, to me, change the whole energy, because this is almost like physically a slighter feel about it, which is probably quicker moving, quick with their speech. I know that's not physical, but their movements are quick. Their eyes flick quickly. They move around. They're far more fluid than the Coins card here. And you've also got here, there's still, you know, when I said martial arts, because they're both, it's like a feisty feel about it, as if you like a lot of people around you, and you like not a fight, but excitement. So physically, you want somebody who looks as if they can handle things, they can handle situations, they move well, they are flexible and adaptable. So I get the general impression, to me, still the feeling of strength and movement. The swords, this one I thought was a wand. Bloody stupid cards. Why can't they just put a picture on there of me to count them? And your Six of Swords is, to me, is movement. You want somebody physically who you feel that you could do anything with. I'm just picking up a physical feel from this. And what I'm getting as well with the travel card, your person you want is somebody you can move with, somebody you can do stuff with. You might be quite active yourself. You may like different type of sports. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's keep going. Right, okay. I'm going to start summing you up here, because these ones here, I just wanted a little bit more information to sum you up in the last cards now. You are a strong personality, and I think that you're somebody who knows where you're going, and you're very good in everyday life of getting what you want out of the situation. There's no fear, there's strength. There's just this general feeling of cutting to the quick. You don't like people who talk crap. You don't like trivial people and trivial conversations and trivial personalities. You want somebody who's mature and is strong and can meet you on an equal ground. So what makes you happy is somebody with strength that meets you on that even keel. You want an exchange. You don't want to feel like you have to look after somebody. You did have down here the Page of Coins. So I do think that although you don't want to look after anybody, if you see parts of them that you have in yourself, you are happy to nurture somebody, but only if they do the work. You're happy to, you want somebody who's independent. You don't want somebody, I don't get the feeling that you're looking for somebody who is emotionally over exuberant. Somebody who is fair and equal. Somebody who is controlled, as you probably are quite controlled, as stubborn as you are, and possibly as just as strong as you are. That's what I'm picking up here. Somebody who's not afraid of life, not afraid to pick themselves up when things go wrong, and just carries on. I do think that you don't mind somebody who's younger than you, but not emotionally, not mentally, but physically, yeah, you don't mind that. I do just get the feeling here with the physically that you want somebody who looks able to do things with you, somebody who can move with you. Right, okay, so what makes you happy in a relationship? Strength, fairness, and a mutual exchange. You are a force to be reckoned with, and you want the person you meet to be either the same or on their way. So my advice to you, which I don't know who I am to give advice out, was to show all your qualities. If any of this is rung true for you, rung true, is that a sentence at all? You know, you have this sort of, you're somebody who's really good at starting things. You are somebody who's extremely strong and focused and stubborn and direct and open. You know, you want people to know who you are, and you're not afraid of that. And I would carry on with that energy, because that's the type of person you will bring towards you. Don't put a face, I know you won't, but don't put a face on for anybody. You know, you will find the right person, if you're not with them already, who will be as strong as you and recognise that in you, all those bits about you which are just brave and truthful. Okay, pile number 1. I think I rambled on quite a bit there. I hope some of that rings true. If it does, let me know, because you are an interesting pile. I do think you're a very, very strong personality, which is fantastic. I bet you're very good at helping people to be who they are too. Right, thank you, pile number 1. Let's get you packed up. My cards on the floor. Pile number 2. What makes you happy in relationships? Let's find out who you are first. The World, the 4 of Cups, Moon in, not Moon in Mars, Moon in Aries, and Saturn in Jupiter. What the bloody hell am I talking about? Saturn in Leo. Okay. Okay. I get the general feeling that you are very wise, and you have worked your way through this life. And if you're aware of all your interest in past lives, you may be very aware of all the situations that you've been through in some way or other, and be very wise and be able to draw upon these situations. I think you're extremely good at helping people. I think that you're very good at nurturing people who've been through situations. You're very open, you're very generous with your time and with your emotions. And you have a very sort of fiercely protective energy around you. You could work in some form with people who are troubled. I mean, or in situations that aren't ideal. What I'm trying to say is that you could possibly work with people who need nurturing, who who basically need nurturing. I don't want to go into too many situations there, you know, like fostering and working with difficult children, or just working with people that need help. There's a maturity about you, and there's almost like an accumulation of lots of different energies in you that makes you quite balanced. But I'm going to say here, just something I'm picking up, that there is almost, in terms of relationships, almost as if you have had or been through quite a few relationships, and that they may not have worked out, or you may not have found what you wanted, and you're almost at the point of thinking, sod it, give it up. You've given out to people in your life. You probably give out in your work. You're probably very generous, and you're always looking out for people. You're very wise. You've been through the mill. And I wonder whether relationships, because you've got the Four of Cups here, which is somebody who's who looks slightly uninterested. They're wise. They've got the book underneath them. You've got the World card here, which is all your modalities here. You've got your fixed, you've got your mutable, blah blah blah. You know, you've been through the mill. You've got the different parts of all these different signs inside you. You know what it feels like. You know, you may even remember when you get into, I'm going to say past lives, then you may get into situations where you feel, I've done this before, I know how to act, da 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 da, spin it off, done it well. But there's almost a dismissive, bored feeling about you, and because this reading's about relationships, I wonder whether you're looking for something a little bit extra. You may be slightly disappointed in some of the relationships in the past. I think you feel that you give a lot to other people, and it's time that you got some back, because you've got protection. The moon in Aries is probably the most protective sign. Your mother may be very protective over you. She may be a mama bear. You know, somebody who, if you were picked on in school, she'd be in there straight away. There's almost like a mature generosity about you. I wonder whether your family were quite giving, quite fiery, open door sort of thing. Everybody came around to eat at your house. I don't know. There's that general feeling of wholeness about you, and maturity and confidence. But I'm picking up the slight disinterested boredom feel here. So let's go into relationships and see where this comes from, or if it is part of your relationships. Let's go. Let's go a little bit deeper into that. Sorry, your pack's upside down. Okay. I wonder whether in the past in relationships you have had some strife, perhaps some arguments, perhaps something where you felt that somebody else had maybe got a one-up on you, or vice versa, but it's made you feel hollow. And what you're looking for now is just, you want calmness, you want things to be equal, and you're looking for a bit of fun and a bit of passion. It does strike me that you give out a lot, but in relationships you may have been met with less than you deserve, and all you're looking for now is an equal give and take, balance and fun. You're probably quite, I wonder whether you're quite adventurous, whether you're quite outgoing, and whether you quite like I wonder whether you're quite, I'm going to say feisty here, but what I'm thinking is feisty. I wonder if you're feisty and fun, and you actually see if your mother, there's fire in your mother's chart, that you may bring this through. I do think there's a bit of fire inside you, and I wonder whether you've got that from somebody else. And I don't just mean just from your mother, but I wonder whether in relationships you've been met with the same fire that you give out to other people. So what I'm picking up is a slight disappointment in past relationships here. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, this card here, you've got the World, and as I said earlier, you've got fixed, mutable, cardinal, and what's the bloody one? Anyway, I can't remember. Sorry, camera clicked off. I just get the feeling, and I don't even sure where I get it from. I don't know if it's just the Knight. It's this card here, and the Fire here. This is what I'm getting. This card is interesting me because I don't know why you're coming across as being blasé. Because you're more about your energy. You've got the Knight of Wands here, so it does show that you're very passionate. But the way that you come across to people is as if you've diminished it. You've gone to the Page of Wands, so it's as if you're sort of hiding a little bit who you really are, and heaven knows why. If you have been hurt, because you've got the Five of Swords here as well, which is almost like a fights and one-upmanship, but you do come across as being very stable, which I picked up here from the World card. You're generous. There's a protection here and the stability. The Four is, stable. You can see that that's stable. It's earthy, it's giving, and it gives in a practical way where you make people feel good because you're the type of person that get up and make somebody a cup of tea when they come into the room. You're somebody that puts, this is from my point of view, somebody who puts a dishwasher on when you've been to somebody's house. You're very giving and very practical, but I do think you're hiding your fire here. So that's what you're giving out to people. That's who you are. Let's see what you need, what makes you happy. Okay. When you're talking to somebody, when you communicate with somebody, regardless of whether it's on the internet or it's a phone or imagine that face to face, you need an exchange and you need it to be open and you need it to be warm and heartfelt. But you don't want stupidity. You don't want somebody who just talks off the top of their head. You want somebody who weighs up what they're going to say, and you want somebody you need somebody with a bit of intelligence, to be honest, somebody who's worked on themselves, somebody who is aware of themselves. I don't think you would go for somebody who you couldn't hold a conversation with. It's not important to everybody, but I do think it's important to you. You need that mutual exchange. You've got the Lovers card here, which is basically, as you can see, it's emotional, but it's an exchange and it's open and it's equal. You've got the Two of Swords here, which is balanced. Somebody who's thought about things and where they are and where they're going. And you've got the Seven of Pentacles, and that's basically somebody who's worked on themselves. I think you want somebody who's intelligent, who's balanced, who's not basically opinionated, and you want somebody who you can have a conversation with, and a heartfelt conversation with. I think if you were in a relationship and you had some sort of debate, you get like a drunken debate where you're talking, which at the moment is very easy to do, you're talking about something that is quite passionate. If you felt that this person had basically gone off in a ranting down some track that didn't make sense to you, I wonder whether that would almost be the end of it for you. It's something inside you could just cut off, because you need somebody who's on the same frame of mind of you, and somebody who has a well thought out mind process. Somebody who knows where they're coming from, and that knows the topic they're talking about, rather than just being impassioned on something they don't know what they're talking about. Gosh, these piles are so unusual today. What are you all up to? Okay, emotionally, you want somebody... See, I'm going to say this, and I don't want to say it, but I'm only going to read what I've got here. I don't want to say it because it's just not what it was easy to talk about. You want somebody emotionally who is balanced as well. You're not really after huge displays of dramatic emotion. Somebody wailing and holding your leg as you're going down the stairs would turn you off. Emotionally, you want somebody who has, once again, you've got the Hermit card here, they've worked on themselves. You want somebody quite spiritual, somebody who is aware of where they're coming from, and not just what's going on in the world, but what's going on outside the world, if you know what I mean. In their own inner world, in the practical world, and just a little bit above of that. somebody who is aware. You've got your Eight of Swords here as well. So emotionally, what you're looking for in somebody, I think you're quite prepared, if they're open-minded, to help them out of some sort of situation. I think intelligence is really important to you. So you don't mind if this person is, you can see that they're open-minded, but they're growing, but they've still got a couple of things wrong in your eyes. You know, you don't feel that they're quite there intellectually, but if they're prepared to work on themselves, you don't mind that. But I do think it's important that your person is open. You don't want somebody who's cut off and not afraid to work on themselves. Yeah, because you've got the Justice card here, which is balance. You've got two very balanced. Balance is really important to you. I wonder whether you are an air sign again. I'm not sure if I said this in the last pack. I wonder if you're quite airy, where you like ideas, you like thoughts, you like to exchange ideas, you like debates, you like books, because balance is really important to you. I wonder whether you have Libra, Gemini or Aquarius very strong in your chart. I do think as well as you definitely like to play with ideas. You are somebody who's probably very much into sort of spirituality, because you want that out of somebody else. You want them to be aware of themselves. You don't mind a bit of anxiety. You don't mind a bit of work. They don't mind if they're working on themselves, but they've got to be doing it. You don't want somebody who's not prepared, who just basically is just stuck in the mundane and not looking for any way to better themselves. Oh my God, this sounds so preachy, this pile. I'm really sorry. I am only just reading what I can see. And I'm just getting this whole need for an intelligent exchange, an equal intelligent exchange. And I wonder whether that's where you've been disappointed in the past. If you're female and you've got this macho type who hasn't been able to talk to you, you would have been left, I think, feeling a little bit lost in that relationship. If you are male and you've got, I'm trying to think of something equally as derogatory, you're really macho. But if you're male and you've got somebody who is just basically powder puffing their nose and you know, get themselves done up and going out and getting drunk every night, that probably would have turned you off after a while, even if they were really attractive. Because I think you need that little bit more. Right, here you are. I'm going to do physical now, and I'm really hoping that I'm just get some really hunky cards out of this one to totally blow this one up. Let's see. Oh no, no hunkies yet. Okay, physically, I think that you like somebody who's quite feminine. I wonder. Yeah, I don't think you want a macho person. If you're female, or if you, I don't know if you're female, basically, if you're after a man, you don't want somebody who looks like a man. If you're after a woman, you want somebody that looks like a woman. You want somebody who is, I'm getting the general feeling of sort of, you know, that sort of feminine look, male or female, eyelashes, long eyelashes, you know, bigger lips, just the last pile, body type was just, I felt sporty. I don't get that you really need that. Somebody who's independent, who's feminine in the way that they look and feminine in the way that they think. This is not a macho pile at all. What makes you happy in relationships. You need somebody who stands proud. You need somebody who looks as if they stand up straight and they are proud of themselves. But it's almost, you wouldn't mind physically as they look quite vulnerable. Or a man that looked quite effeminate in some way. Or if it's female, she would still look feminine. She would be the type that looks, you know, had curves. But you don't want silly. I don't think you're looking for somebody silly. You're looking for somebody who is who gives the impression when you look at them physically that they are soft, a soft-hearted person, but I think intellectually, the intellectual bit is very important to you. Right, let's start summing this all up. So what makes you happy in relationships? I'm just going to put these are like the last sort of blast here. Wheel of Fortune. I wonder whether what would make you happy in a relationship is somebody who you think you could spend a long time with. I don't think you're somebody who's looking for casual relationships. I think you want somebody who would make life an adventure with you. It's really funny that you've got here that you came across as the Knight of Wands. So you have fire inside you, you have passion inside you, but what you're actually expressing to other people is the Page of Wands. So you're not actually, this is the bit that you need to pull out of yourself. You need to be, because you're quite intellectual, you need to show your passion and your fire and your adventure and your warmth to people, because the end pile, which I was sort of hoping was going to be the best possible situation or advice, you've got the King of Wands. And the question was, what makes you happy in a relationship? You need somebody who is probably a combination, you're asking for a lot here, of being adventurous and being fun and being fiery. But I think that is only part of it for you, because you also need somebody who's going to have a larger view of life. You need somebody, I think, who you would like to settle down and have a family with. But I think more than anything, you need somebody to restart your passion. Because that I'm picking up very strongly. From this card here, with the Four of Cups, which shows you to the progression of these wands from Page to Knight to what you finally want from somebody who's the King of Wands. You need somebody to pull out your passion. So when you meet somebody, or if you're with somebody you like, that is what you need to start working on. You need to start working on your passionate nature to get your interest back into life, and to, even the smallest things, just to almost have a fun approach and get the interest in whatever you're doing back, even if somebody's hurt you in the past. And I do think that you need somebody who's going to be a long-term partner, and you need somebody who's intellectual and prepared to work on themselves. You need somebody you can talk to, somebody who can express your ideas and get an intelligent response back. Well, that's set the bar high, hasn't it? So what I would say to you is, when you are out, if you're single or not, or when you're with your partner, bring these qualities out in yourself. You can give commitment, you can give adventure and fun. You have that inside of you. You need to nurture their parts inside of them, where their intelligence and where you need to exchange ideas, so that you actually feel comfortable in conversations and any communication, because that is important to you. Okay, well, pile number 2. I hope that helps. You really interesting pile, but very, very wasn't straightforward. I do think you're quite a complicated character, and the things that you like are quite, I think of words and I read them, I don't know how to pronounce them. I'm thinking disparate, I don't know. No, it's not the word, not desperate. I didn't say desperate, but you do need different bits from different qualities from the same person. So basically you just need to put those out yourself, and then hopefully that's what you'll get back. So just, if you basically recognise what you like, then give it out, and hopefully that's what will come back. Right then. Pile number 3. Let's get these out of the way now. What do you need from a relationship, or what makes you happy in relationships? This is you. The Tower. The karmic release. Loss. and convention. Okay, I think that this very moment in your life, you are going through a huge change. You are changing your personality, excuse me. You're changing your outlook in life, and it's almost as if it's the most horrific thing you could possibly have thought had happened is about to happen or has happened, and it's a huge release for you. There's some loss going on in your life, and I don't, and it may be very hard, but I do feel as if it's something that you knew was coming, although you didn't want to face up to it. I'm tending to think, because you've got your Venus in Capricorn here. Now, Venus in Capricorn can sometimes appear quite cold because the things that they actually say are important to themselves are money, convention, and practical goods. You know, it's almost like a devil card. It's really important. They're normally people that are attracted to people that own themselves as well. So I think that you have built, no, actually that's too strong. I wonder whether you have built some thought processes or some situations around yourself that you felt that you needed. Like you may have got the correct job, you may have got the correct relationship. You know, everything is in its box and feels right because maybe the way that you've been brought up is work hard, have a relationship, make sure, you know, have a relationship where the person can either be a good mother, good father, bring the money in. And for some way this hasn't rubbed with you, and something may have come to a bit of an end, and you've realised that you may have built your values on some false pretenses, and you're feeling the loss. And I'm not undermining that, because we all go through these situations in life because we've all got ideas of what's right and what's wrong. But I wonder whether this is quite an issue in your life at the moment. And I do think I'd be really interested to know your age, because I do think this definitely happens to people around about the age of like 38 to early 40s. It's almost as if people tend to go their whole life, and you have like a Saturn return when you're 28, and you sort of establish yourself. You might have your first house, you might have your first proper job, and you think, oh, I've done that bit. And then you go on, family, I don't know, whatever, job, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to 40 and you almost recalibrate and think, is this what I wanted? And this is a time from 38 to early 40s where a lot of people have affairs because they think it's like their last chance to feel youthful again. And I'm not saying that you're having an affair or that you're 40 years old. I'm just saying the stage in your life at the moment could possibly be a wake up. Something you've based your life on and you're now releasing. And which in the end, or however horrendous it is, wading through, will actually settle down, and you realise where you've got to go next. It's so, you've got loss here. And if that's death that's around you, or somebody has died around you, that's just totally different matter altogether. But every person that comes in and out of your life, whether a huge relationship or whether somebody that basically comes in for a couple of weeks, we all learn our lessons from these people, and everything's transient, unfortunately. Okay, let's have a little bit more look into your energy, because to me this feels more a case of where you are in life rather than your energy as a person. Okay, I think that you're somebody who is quite astute and very aware of what's going on. You're probably very intellectual and very good at reading people. I wonder if you're quite rebellious. You're somebody, I think, who's very spiritual. You may need to spend a lot of time on your own, and while you're doing this, you're almost thinking, what makes the world go round? As in why people's motives, people's intentions. You like to probably analyse people. You could, oh my gosh. Stop it. My candle's weeing. You're probably somebody who could be interested in astrology, because you've got the King of Wands here, which is like an air sign. It could be, and to me, if that is Che Guevara, I don't know who that is, but that looks like him to me. And and you've got the star cards here. Now, he to me is Aquarius. He's Uranus, to me personified. I know he's Taurus, but I actually read his book, and he said that his mother, I'm rambling now, but I've got to tell you, his mother said that she originally made up his rising sign, but that he was actually born in a storm, and which made him have either Aquarius ascendant or Uranus rising. I think it's Uranus rising. So, sorry, that was totally not needed, was it? I do think that you are somebody who reads people well. You can see patterns, and that you, I do think you're into astrology. I feel that quite strongly there. Or you're very aware of how to read people. You pick up their energies. You can read facial expressions. You could be Aquarius yourself. You could have Aquarius in your chart. But I do think that you're very positive, and I do think that you're also very competitive. You're somebody who knows how things work. You know how people work. You know how situations work. You're very intellectual. You're very intelligent. But you also want to win. You're not somebody who gives up easily. You've probably got quite a lot of self-confidence. You're probably very a proud person. You're probably very proud of yourself in some way. You probably are very good at picking yourself up when things go wrong. That's sidetracking, but that Uranus bit. I wonder whether you have got Aquarius Uranus in you. Both of my children, Uranus on your chart, especially if it's on like your ascendant or descendant, talks to me of somebody that's born fast. My kids were both cesareans, were born really quick. They both have Uranus on their descendant within a degree or two. And my mum says that I was born within, there's a really awful story about it, I shan't tell you. I was born within like 40 minutes or something. I was born really fast, and it was unexpected. And I have Aquarius ascendant as well. So I wonder whether you do have Aquarius in you. But anyway, let's keep going. What you give out to other people. So that's the way that you are. I think you are going through some mental shifts, or physical shifts, or shifts in your environment around you. But I think you're the type of person who's very good at coping with it, because you see patterns, nothing lasts, and you can almost see in a spiritual sense that this is almost something you need to shift out of your energy. You are somebody who's very good at working on yourself, and you are a winner. You always seem to come out on top, and I don't think there's much fear that if this situation around you is happening, that you won't come out on top. It's part of your personality to just keep going and be optimistic. This is what you give out to other people. Okay, what the people pick up from you isn't so strange. You give off the impression, you do seem Aquarius to me. You give off the impression of this card here, the Fool. So you're the type of person who is quite maverick in some way, that regardless of what fears are around you, whatever's happening, the typical Fool card is somebody who's off on a journey. They're excited, the little dog's with them, and they're about to basically step off a cliff, and they don't care. This one here is almost got that sort of rebellious, fearless nature about it. So I think people think that you have this like devil-may-care attitude. You certainly do. I think you're a little bit wild. In a quiet way, I think you're a bit wild. If you have got Uranus or Aquarius in your chart, please let me know in the comment section. But you also have a rather sexual vibe about you. People pick that up from you. And the Devil card in the other packs tends to talk to me of somebody who... have you got that? Oh, you have. Oh my gosh, this is interesting. I think that you are quite sensual, and I think that you are very aware of what you want from other people. If you've got if you are Aquarius with like Venus in Capricorn, or Capricorn Aquarius in your chart quite heavily, I do think that you are somebody who's very aware in relationships, and what you're giving out is a huge sexual vibe, but it's almost sensual rather than sexual. You've got the devil and the high priestess. The high priestess is somebody who's very in charge of herself in an almost sort of witchy way. They're very sort of, once again, aware of undercurrents. I think you're very spiritual. I think there's some sort of witchy vibe about you, and people tend to think that you are a devil-may-care, sexy beast. That's what I'm getting from you, is that I think you're actually quiet, inwardly quite quiet. But I think you're inwardly very aware, very spiritual, but with a rebellious devil-may-care. I know I said that 3 times, but that's really what you're coming across, and a sexual, sensual feel about you. I think a lot of people find you difficult to work out, but very attractive. But I also think as well that you possibly could be quite cold in relationships. And I don't mean cold as in you hurt people, but I do think that you could possibly see things from an intellectual point of view. Or even, I'm saying this only, I'm trying to be truthful here, because your pile is fantastic. But if you've got Venus in Capricorn here, and you've got a lot of air energy here, you could be somebody who weighs up a relationship in in whether it suits you practically or whether it suits you intellectually, rather than heartfelt falling in love with somebody and throwing everything out of the window. Although that might have happened to you. I wonder oh my gosh, that'd be interesting. If that has actually happened to you. Let's find out more. Emotionally, okay. Okay, what you need from somebody is a combination of things. You want somebody, and mentally I'm talking about now, so like how you exchange information, how you chat, how you debate, how you basically get on, when you're stuck in a room together for a day or two, is you actually do need, I think finances are important to you. I don't think you want somebody who doesn't earn their own living. You don't want somebody sponging off you. You want somebody who is quite stable. You also want somebody who sees the bigger picture. I do think you're quite spiritual, and I do think you're very aware of patterns and how things work. I'm getting that quite strongly. You've got the World card here. You've got and the Aquarius sort of the feel here with Che and the stars and the hangman here. But I think these are the bits that you find difficult to marry together. You want somebody to come and not greet you, but meet you with an open heart. You are almost yearning that openness and that love from somebody else. But you also, as well, you're asking a lot, because you want somebody who's financially stable too. And I don't know whether you've been burnt financially in the past, whether somebody's taken your money, or you've actually had to look after somebody when you didn't really want to, or just basically you've been the breadwinner and you've had enough of it. And so you are looking for somebody who can see the bigger picture, but also has heart with it, who comes to you with an open heart and is able to give you love. I've got to go back to these in a minute once I've seen this. So this person that you want needs to communicate on an emotional level with you. I don't know whether you find that easy, but you definitely want somebody who does find that easy. Sometimes we like people in our lives where we can learn from situations how to do things. Oh my crikey, okay. Emotionally, I wonder whether you are not generally an emotional person. Whether you see things quite black and white, and you like things, almost, probably your family is probably very intellectual, liking discussions, but there's not been that openness and emotion in your life. I don't know, I'm making this up from the cards. So I think emotionally here, you've got really, really what you want in somebody is somebody loving and helpful and kind and wise, and basically emotionally everything that we haven't seen so far. I think I wonder if this is like a bit of an epiphany for you, where you've decided that you You want somebody warm and loving and open, somebody who's there for you emotionally. Oh dear. I don't know how long this has been cut off, but I've just noticed my camera's cut off. So I'm going to actually leave these cards out. And if I have to go back over it again, I will. I'll check at the end. So we were just saying here, I can carry on from this bit. Emotionally, you need somebody to look after you for a change. So physically, is it? Yeah. Physically, you need somebody strong. You want somebody who looks like they're capable of looking after themselves. You want somebody who has that strength about them. I don't just mean like muscles. I mean physically somebody who stands up straight, somebody who looks like they can cope. You don't want somebody dragging their feet and moping around. You want somebody who looks strong, as if they can. The general feeling here of holding you up, because you feel like you've done your bit on that front. Okay. Okay. All I can say about this pile, I think this pile may have cut off in the middle, so I'm going to leave these cards out and I may have to go over them again. But what I am picking up strong from this pile is if you have almost had a major turning point in your life where you have looked after somebody else, or you have been the breadwinner, or you have been the one that's given more. So I think what you need from somebody else now is you need somebody to be kind and to catch you when you fall. You want somebody who's straight and honest with you, and somebody who is responsible for themselves and not always looking, out for you to take responsibility. You need somebody who can be open and loving with you. So I'm not, you can't give out advice to people but I can give advice out on the cards, if you know what I mean. I would say to draw this person into your life, you need to give out, because I think you're very intellectual and very wise. I think that you need to give out to relax a little bit more with the emotions and start giving out that love, and then hopefully you will attract that type of person into your life or keep them there. And not to support them so much financially or emotionally. Let them do that themselves now. Give them the opportunity to show up. I think if I was you, I would concentrate on my emotions and my love, and just making people feel cared for. But you definitely need somebody to step up. So to sum you up, which you can't sum one person up, but here you go. What makes you happy in a relationship? Somebody who stands up for themselves, and this may be something that's happened recently and is quite new to you. You need somebody who is able to look after themselves, and somebody who's emotional and caring and giving, not just there, not just financially able, but also you need somebody with a big heart. And I wonder whether it's just a time in your life where you need it more than ever. Somebody who is there to catch you, somebody who's open and giving and loving. Okay, pile number 3. I hope this is recorded. I've got a funny feeling it cut off in the middle. If so, I will leave my cards out and I will come back and record it again later. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.